I'm John Stanton, editor of the Gambit, and this is the Get Down. This week's episode, we talk about the French Quarter Fest, which is finally upon us. Personally, it's my favorite festival probably in the city every year. It's one of the weirdest festivals probably anywhere else in the country, simply because we basically shut down an entire neighborhood and set up stages everywhere and have free music, which is very, very rare anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world really, where you have something that goes for days like this. We have free music, lots of good, cheap food, tons of people. There's no traffic, so you don't have to worry about getting run over while you're trying to cross the street. And you have some of the best musicians in the world. And the best part, I think, about French Quarter Fest is its focus on our local and regional music and food. There aren't a lot of outsiders that come into play. We don't have to have these big, national acts to come. And it's really become not only just a festival for us, but also a festival that draws tens of thousands of people from outside of our community every year. So, stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. I am Sarah Ravitz. I'm a staff writer at Gambit, and I'm here with Michaela Beckler, who's the editor of The Pearl, which is a new publication that we just launched last month. And Michaela is here to tell us a little bit about what is in the upcoming issue and also just tell us what The Pearl's about in general.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. The April issue of The Pearl will focus on all things outdoor, festivals, Easter, all the fun stuff we have going on in the city. The Pearl in general will always focus on fashion, home decor, lifestyle, and it's a great complement to Gambit, which is filled with great content and events. So actually on our cover, we have the two co-chairs of Zoodadoo and Zoodadoo for Kids, Susu Stahl and Lauren Flower. Have you been to Zoodadoo before?
I have. It's been a while, but I do love the zoo, and I love supporting the animals that they protect. And Kaylee and I just went to an event recently there, so I'm excited to go back.
Yeah, it should be a fun time, and they're celebrating the return of the zebras, which, if you didn't know, they're coming back to Audubon Zoo. So that's exciting. So we focused on them and the great work that they're doing. One of our other fun stories was all about Nina Compton's new cookbook, which is actually her debut cookbook, which is crazy. It's a coffee table book. It's really pretty. It's something you actually want to have out and also use at the same time. We also just covered festival fashion, fruit's in, it's everywhere. It's at every store right now, which is fun. We also covered Easter, so lots of cute little bunnies and Easter goodies. We also did a story about Palm Orleans. I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's a local fabric and wallpaper store and business that started almost 10 years ago. And the founder, she's just gotten really big, and designers from across the country are using her and bringing a little taste and touch of New Orleans into their homes, which is cool.
That's great. It's always cool to see little elements of New Orleans around the world.
Yeah, definitely. And one of our other favorite stories we worked on, you actually wrote, and it focuses on ways to get involved and be outdoors for Earth Day this month.
Yeah, it's a great month to be outside. The weather's really nice, and there's a lot of stuff to do that also helps the environment. So we have an urban farm and city park called Grodat Youth Farm, and they have programs throughout the year, but this month is a great month to volunteer. They're trying to increase biodiversity in the garden, so they have some opportunities to go and check it out and plant some things if you want. And then there's also weekly walks through Longview House and Gardens in Old Metairie, which is beautiful. It's this beautiful historic home with an immaculate garden and all kinds of beautiful plants there. So
they also do yoga classes.
Yeah.
So be sure to check that out.
Definitely want to check that out. And let's see what else we have.
The library.
The library. So in addition to books, the library is also giving out seed packets. So if you are a gardening expert or you just want to try growing something on your porch or your windowsill for the first time, get over to the library and grab some packets. And they also have resources and information about how to grow these seeds.
I definitely need that because I kill my herbs every year. So, but yeah, that's it for our April issue. It's full of really great content, and you can read it now in the latest Gambit issue, or you can check it out online anytime.
Great. Thank you so much, Michaela.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, I'm Will Coviello, Arts and Entertainment Editor at Gambit. I'm here with Jake Clapp, one of our staff writers. We're previewing French Quarter Fest in this week's issue. So, Jake, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so French Quarter Fest is back. I believe it's the 41st year for it. It's going to run Thursday, April 10th through Sunday, April 13th in the French Quarter. Surprise. There's going to be more than 300 performances, 21 stages of music by Saturday and Sunday whenever it reaches its peak, and then an additional stage just for culinary interviews. And, there's all kinds of genres. There's funk and soul, jazz and blues, Zydeco and Cajun music, but also hip-hop and electronica. So last year, the festival expanded its footprint along the riverfront, added a couple more stages, including a DJ stage. So those things are back this year, kind of continuing to just be a very large festival. Anybody who has tried to go from, like the DJ stage at the foot of Canal to the Jazz Museum realizes like it's a big footprint. Some new things this year though. The festival is continuing to expand some of its accessibility offerings. There's something called the Benny Sensory Activation Vehicle, which will offer a quiet space at the Aquarium Plaza in the Waldenberg Park for people with sensory needs, people with autism, these places where you can just chill out. And then there's also going to be American Sign Language interpretation at select performances as well. I believe if you contact the festival, you can also request sign language interpretation for some. There's also a science, technology, engineering, and math zone for kids. Some celebrations of the the Steamboat Natchez' 50th anniversary. I hope they have a steampunk exhibit.
They should do a steampunk season.
That would be great. Yeah. And the festival is all free.
Right.
There's some VIP tickets. You get some better bathrooms, but all of this is just free celebration of New Orleans, Louisiana music and food. And, we'll go over the music and the food in a couple minutes, but a lot of great stuff going on.
Yeah, and also just back to how they spread the festival out. I mean, like you said, they now have a big stage all the way at Spanish Plaza, which really stretched their footprint. But they're also, like you said, you can kind of pick areas for types of music. I mean, you're going to find more music of Acadiana over by the Jazz Museum, and then some other dedicated stages for trad jazz, like in the French Quarter on Royal and Bourbon. So, you can kind of map it out.
Right, yeah. So, like the Chevron stage at Jack's Brewery is all about Cajun and Zydeco music.
Oh, I'm sorry, they have brass band music at the Mint. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, like that kind of shows us like how much is going on. It's like it's hard to kind of keep it straight, but that's also why we did this in Gambit. We have a pretty good overview of it this week.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at some of the individual sets that are coming up. Who are you looking at this week?
Yeah, so some of the bigger names, the headliners for the festival include like the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. Anders Osborne is going to be back for the first time since 2010. A set that I really don't want to miss is the original Panette's Brass Band with Mia X. That should be really killer. The Soul Rebels, Little Freddie King, Irma Thomas, that's always a great show. Lisa Amos, John Cleary, Big Frida, Lost by Ramblers, Sweet Crude, Big Chief Monk Boudreaux, Cowboy Mouth. Those are some of the, if it was on a poster, it'd be like some of the top names, But, there's just a lot of stuff that I'm excited to see. Tuba Skinny, Trad Jazz, Preservation Brass. They put out a really great album earlier this year dedicated to Carrie Fat Man Hunter. Jelly Joseph, Indies Blue, Pell, Woodenhead is doing a 50th anniversary show. Prog rock, that's definitely kind of the unlike anything else at the festival sort of show. Sax Kicks Ave, Alfred Banks and Albert Allenbach. Sally Baby's Silver Dollars, who they just recently got some big notice from NPR. But also, I'm really excited to see the DJ stages back this year too. Got Raj Smooth, Kelly Green, Legatron Prime, DJ Jubilee, Rockaway, Say Funk, just all kinds of different music that you can kind of move to. But Will, is there anybody that you're looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of the acts that I was singling out. New Breed Brass Band is playing Sunday night. New Breed has quietly gotten its first 2 albums nominated for Grammys for the the Regional Roots album. So their most recent album last year, they recorded a set at Jazz Fest and they got a Grammy nod. It's an Andrews family project somewhat. It's Jannard Andrews, James Andrews' son and Troy's nephew, and some other cousins of his in the band. But Troy's really helped them, and they're really kind of coming up in the world.
That's awesome. There's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's quite a few Grammy nominations or Grammy winners too in this. You know, you got the Rumble, New Orleans Nightcrawlers, Lost by Ramblers, just a lot of, well, it's a pretty incredible selection of music.
Yeah, and then one more Grammy winner, or former Grammy winner, I should say, John Cleary.
John Cleary,
He won for Go-Go Juice in 2015, but he's got a new album coming out with the Absolute Monster Gentlemen, and they're playing at the festival as well.
Awesome. Cool.
We're also looking at food at French Quarter Fest. You know, 4 decades ago when they started this, the purpose of the festival was to get people to come back down and see the French Quarter after the city had done a whole bunch of renovations in advance of the World's Fair, and that really helped the businesses in the French Quarter. So obviously you've got bars and restaurants in the French Quarter to patronize. There's plenty of them. But the festival also has got 70 vendors. So how does that work?
Yeah, so, you know, there's going to be everything from like Creole and Cajun dishes, but Vietnamese, Greek, Indian, Thai, a lot of selection from, you know, established restaurants, but also people who run pop-ups, catering businesses, you know, restaurateurs, you know. You know, some of the new people this year's Chubbies Famous Fried Chicken, Orleans Brothers, and Thai Nola are some of the new people you can find. You know, like Vic Creslin's sausage, they're going to be back. Well, quite a few people are going to be back.
Yeah, and they're clustered around some of the bigger stages or clusters of stages.
Yeah.
So Jackson Square, all along the riverfront, at the New Orleans Jazz Museum. So,
yeah, and so also wanted to note that Chef Kevin Belton is going to be doing interviews. There's a stage going to be set up kind of focused on New Orleans culinary arts, and he'll be doing interviews with like 14 parishes, Southerns, Nori guys, some other businesses.
yeah, and that's on the Colmeyer lawn, like right in front of the aquarium there. So, yeah, right in the middle of things.
That has a name right there?
Yeah.
Colmeyer Lawn? Okay.
All those statues are by Ida Colmeyer.
Yeah.
Awesome local artist.
Great. All right, so, you know, French Quarter Fest takes place, obviously, in the French Quarter, and there's always a lot going on there. So, you know, the festival music is going to stop at certain points, but that doesn't mean your fun at the festival has to end. So Sarah this week wrote a little roundup about certain things you can do around the French Quarter post-fest. Sarah, do you want to tell us about some of the things that are going on?
Yeah, absolutely. The French Quarter is always like, you know, kind of the epicenter of festive things to do in New Orleans. And this weekend, of course, is going to be extra vibrant with all kinds of stuff going on. There are some official French Quarter After Dark parties. The first one is Thursday. It's called Black and Loud Festival, and that's at the House of Blues Parish Room with Omari Neville and the Fuel and King Youngblood. And then Friday night, Big Sam is taking over the Barnett Hotel. That is the space formerly occupied
former
by the
Ace
Ace.
Hotel. Yeah.
And then Saturday, Black and Loud is back at the House of Blues Parish Room with Cyril Neville, Shamar Allen, Irvin Mayfield, and King Youngblood again. And then on Sunday, there is sort of this joint party with the Steamboat Natchez because it's celebrating its 50th anniversary.
You mean the steampunk Natchez?
The steampunk, yeah. So it's celebrating 50 years over the hill. Congrats. And there will be a jam session on board. So it's kind of a fun opportunity to celebrate being on the river and also all of our live local music. Okay. And then, of course, there's a lot of unofficial after parties all over the quarter. You know, there's always a lot of live music. Frenchman Street is always kind of worth checking out, especially this time of year. You can kind of dart into a club, see what you like. Mahogany Hall is another highlight, I think.
Love Mahogany Hall.
Yeah, you know, there's some spots that we kind of overlook as locals, I think, and that is just like almost like a hidden gem. I think maybe the tourists know about it, but I just discovered it a few weeks ago as a local, and it's great. They have so many living legends, and they have a midnight burlesque show on Saturday.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you could just wander around the French Quarter and find any number of things to do after French Quarter Fest.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks.
All right, so there's a lot of music at French Quarter Fest, but also in the clubs. What are you looking at for this weekend?
Yeah. So actually, there's some really great stuff every single night this week. Outside of French Quarter Fest, which starts up Thursday, April 10th. But starting out Monday, April 7th, Jamie Bond, Helen Gillet, and Monica Herzig are at the Zeitgeist Theater and Lounge. It's hosted by Scatter Jazz, so they're calling this a sound sculpture performance. But Jamie Bond was a Guggenheim fellow, I believe. Yeah. Then Tuesday, April 8th.
One of the rare flautists in jazz.
Jazz,
it's not
yeah.
the most common instrument in the genre, but yeah, she's
So
really
incredibly
good.
interesting show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tuesday, April 8th, ZZ Ward, the blues rocker, she's going to be at Chicky-Wawa. Earlier this year, she released her 4th studio album called Liberation. Wednesday, April 9th, Zach Feinberg, who is the co-founder and lead guitarist for the Revivalist, he's going to be playing with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra as part of their Market Night series. Zach has been working on some solo music, and he's actually got his first solo album coming out April 25th. So this will be a performance of maybe 5 or 6 of his originals backed by the LPO.
Great. Nothing says solo like a full orchestra.
So on Thursday, April 10th, St. Vincent is at the Orpheum Theater, one of my favorites. But she just picked up 3 Grammy Awards earlier this year, including for Best Alternative Music Album for All Born Screaming. And then on Friday, April 11th, indie pop band Howdy is at Siberia with Video Age. That's just some partly sweet, partly bittersweet, very good indie pop. So it should be a fun show. But yeah, that's what's coming up. And then all next weekend is French Quarter Fest.
Awesome. All right, thanks.
All right. Well, Will, what are you looking forward to next week in the world of arts and entertainment?
It's an interesting week for theater and shows people might have heard of. There's Hamilton coming to the Sanger for like a 2-week stint. It was quite a spectacle. It was quite a spectacle the first time Hamilton, the touring production, showed up here. Anyway, there's also a local show, which is a really interesting daytime, outdoor, kind of immersive experience. It's called Wonder Wander City Park.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, people will literally kind of go on it's a short journey. It's not that much of a walk, but it's like a quarter mile on Scouts Island, which is literally an island in the bayous in City Park. And this is kind of a journey that explores the history of what has been in the park before. So that it used to be actually 13 plantations. So you start on a plantation in the late 1700s. There's a woman, Fanny, whose daughter is coming of age, or 12, or of age that she could be sold away under the Code Noir. So it's kind of a fraught moment, and they're supposed to be freed under the kind of the will of this woman who's owned them, who dies. And that's where this story starts. And then you kind of see successive generations in the park. And that even gets up to, Jim Crow and segregation and then desegregation. So it's a really interesting kind of experiential way. And, you can kind of interact with the characters in the play a bit as you kind of walk around Scouts Island. So it's a really interesting, immersive experience. I should say it's also the main production of the We Will Dream Festival, which is its second iteration out of the Andre Kalu Center for Performing Arts and Cultural Justice on Bayou Road.
Yeah.
And then in the non-theater world, anybody interested in a little day trip, the Ponchatoula Strawberry Festival is going on in Ponchatoula. Yeah. It's about 45 minutes, an hour outside of town. It's 2 day. They have 2 stages of music all 3 days. They have kind of like an old town fair with strawberry farmers selling crates of strawberries. They got food vendors. They've got a pageant. They got an egg toss. They got amusement rides. So that's a good little trip out of town. The Ponchatoula, like Friday through Sunday.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Will. Always a lot going on. You can find more in Gambit's calendar and in the Gambit.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
And finally, and another thing. This week, I want to talk a little bit about a positive thing, which is the French Quarter Fest. As I said at the top of the show, this is one of my favorite festivals of the year, and that's because of the music and the food and sort of the general vibes of the thing. But I really want to talk a little bit about the organizers and how they do it, because I think they do an excellent job, frankly, with how they operate this festival. They seem to be able to adapt every year to the changing number of the crowd. They're able to make it so that seating is not as big of an issue as in some festivals. They do a very good job with making sure that folks that have disabilities are able to get in to see all of the music they want to see. And that's a really, really big deal, because a lot of festivals don't do as much as they could, or anything at all, quite frankly, for the disabled, which is a shame and actually a crime. And the French Quarter Fest, though, every year goes above and beyond to make their festival an enjoyable experience for everybody. And, it's great to see like a highlight on our community and on the musicians here, and to give them the shine and recognition that they deserve. So thank you very much, French Quarter Fest, for always doing a great job. We appreciate y'all. That's it for this week. Be sure to join us next week for another episode of The Get Down, and go and pick up the Gambit, and make sure that you go and patronize all of our advertisers, because they keep us in business. Thank you guys very much.